be watching the live stream from. Yeah, it's me, Kev from Kevin's Corner, where I try to make sense out of nonsense. And tonight is, of course, Friday. And I say we just go ahead and have a little fun, roll with the punches. So if you can hear me, let me know. Say something in the chat. I see it started over here, but I'm not seeing anybody say hello. Hello, is it me you're looking for? Somebody said me too, so that must mean you can hear me. All right, and with that being said, what's up, Dallas? With that being said, let me go ahead and get loose so I can get busy. What's up, Ray? Now. There's some G's in the building. Gorillas in here, gorillas in here. Gorillas in here. Gorillas in here. Yeah, and don't forget, there's a Kevin's Corner store in here too. Please check it out when you get a chance. Also, text MAGA to that number 330-974-4607, just in case they unexist me on this joint. And finally, if you'd like to support the channel, you can do that through my Cash App and my PayPal. Hit that like button, subscribe, make sure your notification button is turned to all notifications so that YouTube can try to figure out another excuse of why you're not getting, maybe notifications. I mean, I thought, what do you say they got their notifications set to all? That's strange. Tell you what, have them record themselves setting their notification to all and then send the video. I was like, man, that's what they had the nerve to tell me last time when I brought that up. They were like, have them, record themselves and how their process of setting. I said, why do they have to do the work for you guys? I mean, isn't that your responsibility? When a person clicks notification button and they set it to all, they assume that YouTube is going to handle it. But a YouTube ain't handling shit. You're right, sir. You're right. You got a point. I know I do. Now, I wish I could stare at them until they look away. Unfortunately, I'm doing it through a chat. So anyway, let me not get caught up on that. I want to get caught up on what's going on around this funky country. Yeah, man. So before we get into tonight's topics and finish up what we were talking about yesterday, ran across a very, very concerned black lady. Yeah, she's all busted up. And you know why she's concerned, y'all? Because of black people. There you go. She's concerned that black people are supporting Trump. So let's see what she's all, hamstrung about. Here we go. Let's see what she upset about.
I don't know about y'all, but I'm starting to see a dangerous increase in black Trump supporters.
That's good. You hear how she says it? She says it's a dangerous increase. Never stopping to ask herself, well, what could be motivating these people to do that? What could they be seeing that I'm not seeing? Surely they're not all okay with a white nationalist running the country, right? So apparently they must see something that I'm not seeing. But let's continue because she's gonna make her case.
And I thought these were outliers, but the way every time I turn around and there's another black influenceable black person who is in support of Donald Trump, it's like I'm surrounded. It's like I'm like, what is going on now? I think what happened was that I was into that Fonnie Willis stuff that was going on, and I wanted to see how that played out. Now, there is a black content creator who was explaining all of that, but I didn't want to wait for her name is I'm Not a Lawyer. I didn't want to wait for her every day because she was covering other stuff, the YSL trial and all that. So I would look up lives while I was at work, and a lot of these people, and I wanted to support black creators. So I would look for black people who are covering this, and so many of them are Trump supporters. There are black Trump supporters everywhere.
Well, hallelujah. Isn't that great? Yeah, man. But if you listen to the media, it's about 8 of us out here. Yeah, I wonder if she ran across my channel because I know that I covered that Fat Fanny story as well. But yeah, so it sounds like that she's seeing what we're seeing and what the media is lying about when they get out there and tell you, nah, man. Trump might have gained a couple, points here and there for, black folk. But it ain't that much. But she's finding out that there's a whole bunch of us. And now she's concerned for us guys.
YouTube, TikTok, everywhere. And I'm like, wait, we were all here 4 years ago. We were all here when the insurrection happened. We were all here when we saw that.
Well, see, that's the problem right there. See, the term that you just used, we were all here when the insurrection happened, and I didn't see an insurrection. And you best believe most of the black people who are voting for Trump didn't see an insurrection either. See, we saw maybe perhaps a false flag. We might have saw a intelligence operation. We even might have seen a couple people get a little irate in the beginning. But it sure enough wasn't an insurrection. So that lets me know that this lady's suffering from TDS. That's right. They have downloaded this information and these images in her head. She sees that event as an insurrection. So obviously she doesn't know what an insurrection is or looks like. But let's let her go ahead and finish because she's concerned about us.
Men incite violence, and these white people took it upon themselves to storm the Capitol. We were all here when that happened. Do you think that he's going to let it go this time? Do you think he's going to be told that he can't be reelected after this presidency? Do you think?
Now, do you see how the propaganda has worked on this woman? Here she is talking about Trump incited an insurrection, and I'm thinking, obviously, she never seen the clip where he said, "Let your voices peacefully be heard." Obviously, she never seen when he said, "It's time to go home now." It's pretty obvious that she has been watching a whole bunch of fake news. There you go. She's repeating everything that we see every day on MSNBC and CNN. That's what she's doing. I mean, I pity her. See, she's saying it like she's concerned for us. And the odd part about this is black Trump supporters are concerned about them. We see them as brainwashed victims by the Democrat Party and the fake news. But she sees us as what? Crazy or sellouts or something.
He is not going to incite violence again. We were all here through that whole 4 years. How do we get to a point as black people that we're going to be in support of a violent man who is trying his best to be a fucking dictator?
See, there it is. Notice what she's saying. She's saying everything we hear come out of the fake news. And remember, they were talking about how we need to all calm and tone down the rhetoric and stuff. It's Trump talking about we're the ones that started all. Look at these people. These people believe all of those fake narratives. She really believes. She's past. She's concerned. She's probably staying up at night thinking about this. She probably was blown back by going on there like, okay, let me see what this brother got. Oh, he's a Trump supporter. Oh, you know what? That's okay. That's great. Okay, click. She's a Trump supporter. Click. Click. Trump. He's a Trump supporter. She's a Trump supporter. Would you like to be a Trump supporter too? So she probably was blown away by this. And now she's trying to make sense of it. It doesn't make sense to her.
How have you lost your mind that hard? How have you done it? How have you lost your mind to the point that you're a black Donald Trump supporter?
Now you see, this is the goal. This is what this is all designed to do. Make the slaves on the plantation check the other slaves on the plantation. They're the first line of defense. Once you get them brainwashed into thinking, Massa got us good on here, this here plantation. So you get some outliers, and this is what happened right there. How can black folks do that? Y'all got to be crazy. You know what? I mean, you're going to lose your blackness, basically. I guarantee you, if I sat down with this woman, she would think I'm the biggest sellout. She would be like, you done lost your mind. She would do everything she can to either shame me, to get back on the Democrat plantation, but she wouldn't be able to have a reasonable argument against all of the fake news and talking points that she's been given when I destroy her with truth. It would be another shocker to her. I mean, right now, she's just saying, I can't believe this. And all she's spewing out is everything she's heard come out of the news. She hasn't seen or heard the alternative views or the truth to all of their lies. Now, that would be a good experiment to see if she would hear the truth, see the truth, and still say, how could y'all still? I guarantee you, for a while, she'd be like, I don't care. I don't care. I'm still not feeling it. I'm not buying it. I don't care what you show me or nothing. Because she seems like she is deep into it. So let's continue because she's just blown away. I'm sure she's going to need some type of drug to calm her down.
I know they're out there, but it's so many now. So many people are trying to justify themselves as being black Trump supporters. It is insane to me.
It means it's working. We're spreading the word. There it is. Folks are waking up. Yeah, like that end at the movie The Wiz where they start unzipping. Yeah, their suits. Can you feel a brand new day? Can you feel a brand new day? That's what's happening. I'm happy. She needs to get on board.
We were all here. We all witnessed him being a president. It's not a good look at all. There's nothing is worth it. A stimulus, nothing is worth it. Nothing is worth this violent man who can't take criticism. No, we can't do it.
There, take a breath. Take a breath. She's all busted up. So now, you see the dilemma that the Harris administration and the Democrat Party as a whole is in. See, they're losing minorities, and that's a problem for them. Latinos and black folks, especially black men. So when in doubt, pull the most dirty, underhanded tactic that you can pull, which is bring out a popular black politician like Obama and sig him on all the black men. Do what she did, but in a calmer way. Shame all of these black men. Look, man, what y'all doing? You got to be crazy. What's wrong with y'all? Y'all better get out there and vote for. So now they send out the big guns because they know they in trouble, y'all. Jesus, he got you, he loves you, you know it's true, he's good news, good news, good news, good news. Yeah. So that right there was for that crazy, irate young black lady in the car. Shouldn't be doing videos while you're driving in. Keep your hands on the wheel. Yeah, so that was a lovely little rendition. So let's go ahead and find out what's going on, because Dems losing men. Hallelujah, Dems losing men. So let's see what they do to counteract it.
Communities is that we have not yet seen the same kinds of energy and turnout in all quarters of our neighborhoods and communities as we saw when I was running.
Yeah, so maybe he doesn't realize that since he stepped up on the scene, it's no longer nostalgic. It's no longer shocking that, oh, wow, we got the first black president on the line here. We ain't never seen this. We ain't never seen this. So everybody needs to go ahead and get on board to make this happen for historical reasons only. Yeah, he was a novelty. It was new. All right. Plus, he's a way better speaker and politician than Kamala Harris. But over time, we have seen that this guy was a bum too. I didn't fall for it. I know many black folks did, and I don't even blame them. But I didn't fall for it. I sniffed this dude out the first time. It's like, oh, I don't like it. I don't something about him. I'm not. I had to give him the side eye. So now he's trying to use the past and his coming on the scene, to go ahead and help get Kamala Harris over the line. Now, of course, he's not going to talk about all of the horrific policies that she and Joe Biden has had and the impact it's had on black folks and will have on black folks. No, it's just, look, man, I'm black. She's black. Y'all probably like me more than y'all like her. So listen to me. Based on your blackness as a man, y'all need to get out there and support this woman. Okay? So let's see if it works.
Now, I also want to say that seems to be more pronounced with the brothers.
Good. So, look at him trying to go ahead and get all brother-fied to appeal to the brothers. Now, he wanted to say brothers, but he put the A at the end. The brothers. Yeah, behind closed doors. The brothers. Boy, I can't stand the way these people talk. All right, but I'll go ahead and adapt. The brothers.
So if you don't mind, just for a second, I'm going to speak to y'all directly.
Y'all.
and say that when you have a choice that is this clear.
It's clear? Well, you're right about that. Trump all the way, baby. That is extremely clear. But let's continue.
And on the one hand, you have
low gas prices, higher wages, more jobs, border security, all of those things.
Somebody who grew up like you, knows.
What that got to do with this? Is that a policy? That's a Democrat policy. I thought, well, my policy is I grew up like you, which she didn't. Okay, I didn't grow up in no Indian family, but nonetheless, I guess that's a policy that benefits us somehow. But let's continue.
Went to college with you.
She didn't go to my college. She went to all black college. I went to Miami University. That's right. We wouldn't have allowed riffraff like Kamala Harris to attend Miami University. Absolutely not. Away with you, you ragamuffin. But nonetheless, so because she went to college at a black school, I guess that qualifies her. That means we got to get on board. Forget the policies. Forget that's a policy. She went to a black college.
Understands the struggles and pain and joy that comes from those experiences.
Well, wait a minute. How does she know that? And how do we know she knows that? I mean, did she grow up in the inner city of Youngstown where we was on the government cheese? Yeah, man. Couldn't really get no McDonald's. Had to get that Wonder Bread. Bust that out. Tear off the edges. Make a sandwich. Did she grow up with no screen doors? Or she grew up in Canada, right? Okay. All right. All right. That's a little different than where I grew up. I'm wondering, did she grow up hearing gunfire all over the place? Did she grow up in that? Folks breaking into houses every couple months or so, you find out somebody else is dead. What? Dude, I was just hanging out with that cat the other day. Oh, well, you think she grew up like that? I'm just wondering.
Just had to work harder and do more.
Now, this is such manipulation, it's ridiculous. And it is so belittling to the intelligence of black people. Trying to identify with a stereotypical black upbringing and saying just because a lot of black people can relate to the things that he's describing, even though he's not providing any evidence that that's what happened to her. He's just saying it. Had to work harder, had to do more. When I look at how she hopscotched her way all the way up to the vice presidency and now the leading candidate, it doesn't look like she had to work hard at all. I mean, I'm just saying. I don't see the real struggle. She didn't put in the time. Sounds like she just connected with the right people at the right time, and they made it happen. She used the right elements to get her butt to where she's at. Now, this guy's out here talking about she understands the struggle. She had to work harder. She had all of this stereotypical stuff that they say, just because you're black, these are things you have to do that, you got to be 10, 15 times better than a white guy. I mean, unless you can prove that, and, which you can't at this point, I'm saying now you're just manipulating us. Now you're trying to go ahead and pull the black card. Now you're trying to say, hey, black men, y'all need to get on board with this raggedy chick. And I'm going to go ahead and tell y'all got to do it because of some superficial, stereotypical reasons. Forget your intelligence, forget your reasoning, forget your pocketbook, forget you sitting back saying things were better under Trump and I think he will be better moving forward. Forget all of that. Throw that out the window because the choice is clear. Look, she's a black woman. She's smart. She's a VP. She done grew up kind of like you, I guess, maybe. But even if she didn't, it doesn't matter. I'm Obama. Listen to me, brothers.
And overcome and achieves the second highest office in the land.
Governor Walz, according to Politico, is going to be going out on a mentor.
Ooh, a mentor. Because they're losing men. Hallelujah, they're losing men. Now, this woman, Abby, thinks that, yeah, let's talk about Obama showing up and trying to shame the brothers into going out there and voting for Chameleon. And I'm sure this soul sister next to me is going to jump right on board. She's from Ohio. Matter of fact, she's down in Columbus. Yeah, I'm sure she's going to jump on board and be like, that's right. The brothers need to get on board. And it backfires. And Abby ain't going to know what to do because the lady who's speaking is black. See, now, if this was, a white man, Abby would be able to tell him to shut up. Well, white woman, you shut up, Karen. But look what happens.
Literally a tour of media to appeal to men. They need to appeal to the needs of the voters. And so I was a delegate for President Obama in both of his elections in Ohio. Right now, the vice president is down 11 points in Ohio, even though I fully expect President Trump to take Ohio as he did twice. But to be down 11 points compared to President Biden,
I'm sure it's because of racism. There it is. All of a sudden, Ohio just became a racist place. There it is. I'm sure that's what it is. But let's finish hearing her go ahead and explain why what Obama did was horrific.
That is a problem. But this other issue I want to bring up is a problem too. Why are black men being lectured to? Why are black men being belittled in ways that no other voting group? Now, a lot of love for former President Obama. But for him to single out black men is wrong. And some of the black men that I have talked to have their reasons why they want to vote a different way.
Cut! We weren't expecting you to say that. Dang on it. You black girl, you supposed to be saying what he's saying. This woman came out like, why is it? Because she's seeing it. She's seeing that, look, man, we don't want to give black folks a choice. And because black folks are starting to be independent, especially black men right about now, we're going to go ahead and send this man out to manipulate us and to tell us based on our blackness, we have to do this. And he ain't doing that to anybody else because, see, they think black people are stupid and they think black people belong to him and to the Democrat Party. That's what it is. He's like, man, we own y'all. We're shocked that y'all are even walking away from the Democrat Party. What are y'all doing? I mean, we were super confident that don't worry about that. We'll get the brothers in line. So they sent out that guy to do it. He didn't say Chinese folks need to do that. What about the Italianos? No, not the Jews. None of that. So basically, he's wanting black men to vote for her because she's what? Black. Or at least they're saying she's black. Now, weren't they the ones that saying race doesn't matter? Why are we even talking about race? Weren't they the ones that saying that once we pointed out, well, is she black? Because see, if you're going to try to manipulate us to vote for her based on whether she's black or not, you don't think we have the right to even ask that question? Well, is she black? You know what I'm saying? Y'all need to owe Janet Jackson an apology. That's right. We got a right to question her because she's using that to manipulate black folks, just like he is. So ain't nobody talking about, hey, why is he bringing that up anyway? Why is he even focused on race? Why is he trying to shame and guilt black men into voting for her because he's saying that she's black?
And even if some of us may not like that, we have to respect it. So unless President Barack Obama is going to go out and lecture every other group of men from other identity groups.
Look at Abby. This isn't going the right way. Somebody's in her ear like, shut this chick up. Good grief. How long you going to let her talk? She is destroying Obama and this decision that the Democrats made. We all see it's manipulation. The only people who don't see it are the folks that unfortunately was standing in that room and probably suffering from TDS as well. So Abby is going to have to go ahead and try to run interference in a second.
My message for Democrats is don't bring it here to black men who, by and large, don't vote much differently from black women. And why? As a politician, we should be trying to get all voters to vote. And hopefully there are a few good men out there who do care about the stripping away of some of women's bodily autonomy. But this is wrong for President Obama. It is a wrong course for the Harris-Walz campaign to lay at the feet of black men when they have their reasons. In 2020, the vice president...
But see, they don't care about the reasons. They don't even want to know about the reasons. They're trying to give you reasons to vote for her. Not real legitimate reasons, not purposeful reasons. You saw the reasons he gave y'all. You saw the reasons. Look, man, she's black, the woman grew up like you, went to a black college. She's had to overcome the same stuff you had to overcome. Yeah, but that's pretty much all I got. So vote because you're black.
President was labeled a cop, as we know.
But do you think, sorry to interrupt you, Nina, but do you think he's right that one of the reasons is because they don't like the idea of
it might be some listen, black men.
There it is. So when in doubt, they all know that they're in trouble. This whole is in trouble. So they're starting to lay out them excuses. They're starting to roll them out. They're determined excuses. All right, this is looking bad. When we lose this thing, what can we blame it on? Black men are being manipulated by Trump, perhaps, maybe. Okay, and that they don't like women. And all of a sudden, they're misogynistic too. Nobody's safe from their propaganda, from their identity politics. Nobody's safe from their Marxist conflict theory. I don't care what race or sex you are. Soon as you don't obey them, now all of a sudden you too might find yourself as a man suffering from, misogyny or toxic masculinity. Whether you're black or not, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Are socialized in the same society as any other man. So yes, is misogyny maybe a part of it? But again, is President Obama and is the Harris-Walz campaign going to lecture other male groups in the same way that they're lecturing?
Nope. Now you see that Abby tried to get her off that whole black thing. Like, okay, I know she was going to go ahead and call Obama out for trying to manipulate black men. So let me go ahead and just try to say, well, could it be something else? Could it be like a misogyny, maybe? Could it be? So in other words, all these black men out there is like, man, oh, heck nah, dude. I was about to vote for the white senile dementia dude up there that said, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. I was going to do that. But now that they got a black woman, heck nah, I ain't voting for no sister. Nah, man, bunk that. I don't want no black woman ruling over me. Do they really think that's what's going on? Are they not able? Well, they know. They know that she sucks. They know she's unlikable. They know the real reasons why people are going, man, I'm not having it. I'm not supporting her. They know that, but yet they're coming up with excuses for their audience. So they're telling them that, you know what, it could be misogyny. It could be that she's sorry. And we're about to find out. See, we're about to find out. But they'll never tell you that. It's everybody else's fault but hers.
It's not just about, I don't think so. It's not just about Pennsylvania. It's not just about men. It sounds like there's a concern that there's a broad problem for Vice President Harris with the blue wall.
Get off that. Yeah, get off the race thing. Get off the sex thing. It's the blue wall thing because that black lady blew up our narrative. We was hoping she'd jump on board and support that. So guys, once again, what are they going to do about us men? Oh, man. So let's see.
It's a political party that thinks gender is just a state of mind, and all of a sudden they're like, oh my God, we have trouble with moderate biological males. I mean, who is surprised about this?
Scott, you gotta love him. Yeah, man. He's saying what we're all thinking. But see, remember, the Democrats are so arrogant that they think that their ideas, their crazy, radical, social experiments are popular. They didn't stop and do a little foreshadowing. They never stopped to say, you know what? If we adopt this whole crazy idea and agenda that makes us look like we have stepped out of reality, that puts us in a position to have to pretend to be competent, smart, scientifically based, but at the same time makes us look like we're dibbling and dabbling in superstition and talking about we don't know what a man is and we don't know what a woman is. We're not here to determine that. And at the same time, we're always talking about women's rights. Looking schizophrenic. They didn't stop to think that might be a turnoff to men long term. They just thought we'd all just adopt that philosophy out of nowhere. We're all just like, well, that's interesting. I guess that's cool. I'm okay with my daughter in the bathroom and a grown man walks in. That's fine with me. Because the Democrats said this is new and progressive. Than, science and stuff. I'm absolutely okay. Was that my daughter? She just got beaten a 400-yard dash by 50 yards from a young woman. Oh, that's fine with me. To what? Oh, my son has pretty much been kidnapped and he's in Minneapolis right now getting some reassignment surgery under Tampon Tim. He went to Tampon Tim Town and I can't go get him because that's a sanctuary city for a little kid. Okay, well, that's okay with me. I think those are good, sound policies for our society. Manly. There you go. They never stop to think that might start turning men off. No, they don't think like that. They're that arrogant. They're going, don't worry, we'll shove it down their throats and they'll still love us. But Scott here is giving them a dose of reality.
I think Democratic Party elites like Obama and like others have been viciously attacking Donald Trump since 2016. And everything they said about him is what they have always said about him. And I don't think it's particularly effective right now. I think their problem isn't attacking Trump. Their problem is finding reasons to give people to support Kamala Harris. The stop he made in this plea he's making to African-American men. I mean, he said today, he insulted them. I mean, he first of all admits that they're not enthusiastic about her. He said, you just aren't feeling the idea of having a woman as president and you're coming up with other alternatives and reasons for that. And I think
that's the only reason the brothers will vote for Trump, because they just don't like her because she's a black woman. Now, once again, they reduce black people to the most simplistic reasons to vote. I mean, of course, they have their overall, reasons that they use for all stupid citizens. Fear, of course, it's, you know what? Donald Trump's a white nationalist. He's a xenophobe. He's Hitler. But then there's a separate category for black people. All right, we're not going to bug you down with all of that stuff. You guys just do what we say because you're black and she's somewhat black. There you go. Forget all that other stuff. Now, if you want to go ahead and use those other reasons, that's fine too. But for those that's a little more stubborn, now we got to go ahead and get into your blackness. Manipulate you based on that. That's an insult.
I think one thing we've seen about Democrats over the years is that when they can't convince you to do something, they begin to insult you. Obama specifically, when he was having trouble with rural voters in Pennsylvania, go back all the way into his campaigns, he insulted them about their culture and values.
Show us an example. Show us an example of that, Scott. Or should I say Kevin from Kevin's Corner? Because I got a perfect example of exactly what they're doing right now to rural voters. Listen to this.
I don't think it's helpful to insult a group of people who are already not enthusiastic about your campaign, but I think that's what he did today.
Look at this.
And journalist and opinion writer Paul Waldman, their new book out tomorrow is entitled White Rural Rage, The Threat to American Democracy.
So white rural rage? So white people out in the rural areas is a threat to American democracy. Do you understand the arrogance of somebody who went out and wrote this book? And they wrote it just for the left. They wrote this book just for the Democrat Party to go ahead and say, we need to label all of these stubborn, non-democratic voters as dangerous. Come up with whatever. Don't worry about going in and talking and sitting with these people to find out what they're really like. All of that stuff. Don't do that. And the odd part about this is I am out there in all of those rural areas. The other day on the man truck delivering drywall, I ended up in a place where I'm like lions and tigers and bears. Oh my. I'm sitting there saying, man, if I disappeared out in this funky joint, nobody would find me. When I pulled up, it was a farm. Nobody was around except cows and horses, and a dog came out of nowhere, just jumped on me. I'm like, oh. I decided to start playing with the dog. I'm videotaping the horses and the cows and stuff. Yeah, come to find out, Amish family out there, and they over there playing horseshoes while I'm waiting. They come out and they help me unload the truck and everything. Very kind people. Didn't say nothing, didn't look at me strange like we ain't never seen one of you before. And that happens constantly. I'm out in rural areas all the time. They're very polite, very sensible. And guess what I see all through those areas? I see Trump signs all through them. And that's why they have to write pieces like this and bring propagandists like this on their network to say, what?
And Tom, we'll start with you. Why are white rural voters a threat to democracy at this point? You would think, as we pointed out,
threat to the Democrats?
Looking at Joe Biden's background and Donald Trump's, that the opposite would be true.
Yeah, because y'all came up with a backstory for Joe Biden that you thought would appeal to everyday hardworking folks. He's just Scranton Joe, and he's nothing like regular everyday hardworking folks. So they're trying to do the same thing with rural folks by creating, this backstory. That's their way of making white people connect to white Democrat politicians. Look at him. He grew up in just a small town, small house, and there was Grandpa Finnegan in the house and all of that stuff. And my grandpa lived with me, and then we had all of these crazy little backstories. And you should vote for me because I'm just like you. Now, that on black men said you should her because she knows the struggle. Just like she just said, why are white rural folks voting for Trump when look at Joe? Look at Joe's background. He's just everyday Joe. And you're telling me they connect more with Donald Trump, this billionaire? Yes, because he's not fake and he understands the struggle that all Americans are going through. So these guys now are going to go ahead and have to make an excuse of why rural voters often don't support the Democrats. And get ready for this.
I mean, we lay out the fourfold interconnected threat that white rural voters pose to the country. First of all, and we show 30 polls and national studies to demonstrate this. So we provide the receipts in Chapter 6. They're the most racist, xenophobic, anti-immigrant, anti-gay.
Wow. They let this slide on MSNBC, the toilet bowl of all networks. So, most racist, xenophobic. What else are they? I mean, if I'm a rural citizen, I'm going, what? I'm insulted. Can somebody get on the phone and call this dude right now and say, how about you come and say it to our face? So now here he is spreading rumors.
That the opposite would be true.
Here we go.
I mean, we lay out the fourfold interconnected threat that white rural voters pose to the country. First of all, and we show 30 polls and national studies to demonstrate this. So we provide the receipts in Chapter 6. They're the most racist, xenophobic.
Now, you do know everything that he's saying is based on liberal ideology. They're the most racist, probably because they're not going, we want more legal immigrants in here. That's what we want more. Yeah, because they're not out there going, Black Lives Matter. So now they're the most racist, xenophobic. Of course, anybody who don't like illegal immigration, all of a sudden now xenophobic. But go ahead.
Big anti-immigrant,
anti-immigrant. Nobody's anti-immigrant. See, you see how they come up with these categories and these labels for us. And I say us because, see, I don't look at them as rural. I look at them as just patriots, common sense Americans that think the same thing I think. And I don't live out in the rural area. But yet I don't think illegal immigration is good either. But what does this guy do? They're anti-immigrant. Nobody who I've ever ran into as a conservative said, you know what, I don't like immigration. You mean illegal immigration? No, just immigration, period. We all despise illegal immigration, but this guy, he doesn't make that distinction. So in his data to prove it, I'm sure he's using that based on his idea and perception of what immigration is.
Gay geodemographic group in the country. Second, they're the most conspiracist group. QAnon support and subscribers, election denialism, COVID denialism and scientific skepticism, Obama birtherism. Third, anti-democratic sentiments. They don't believe in an independent press, free speech. They're most likely to say the president should be able to act unilaterally without any checks from Congress or the courts or the bureaucracy. They're also the most strongly white nationalist and white Christian nationalists. And fourth, they are most likely to excuse or justify violence as an acceptable alternative to peaceful public discourse.
So basically what? Drop a nuclear bomb on all the rural areas? Wipe them out? Send in the military to get rid of them? Because they're a threat. They're a threat to American democracy. Do you understand the propaganda that just went into that piece right there? And they're talking about they don't divide the country. They're not out there to divide. Basically, everyone in our country needs to go ahead and become liberal, adopt liberal ideology. And then you all can be invited into the club and not excluded and called white nationalists, the white supremacists, Christian, anti. Look, I mean, that was a fascinating piece. And she sat there and let that man vomit all of those lies up, just demonize all rural voters. And you think that's going to go ahead and make them go ahead and say, you know what? After hearing that, had no idea we were all those things. Now we're going to vote for Kamala Harris. Just like Scott said, when y'all can't win them over with your ideas because they're crazy and they're extreme, the next step is just go ahead and demonize them. Call them a bunch of names, label them, and say they're not like the rest of you sane people who vote for us. Boy, the manipulation is strong, but that was horrible. Horrible. I would love to have sat on that set and said, what did you just say? You big fat hot water bottle, you. I got something to say to you, and I ain't from the rural area.
Story tonight is they're struggling with men. Obama's insulting men, and they're out saying, well, let's fix it by sending Tim Walz out and hiring
Tampon?
It's crazy to...
Tampon, y'all. Tampon's on the way. Don't worry about it. Tampon Tim done threw on his cape. Tampon with a tampon on the back of it. We don't know if it's for a boy or a girl because, I mean, you know what, at this point, but anyway, tampon. Now, guys, after what I'm about to show you, I just realized that Kamala Harris, as dumb as she is, just picked Homer Simpson. I know I call him Homer Simpson head, but after what you're about to hear come out of Tim, I think they really picked a live Homer Simpson to be the VP for her. So let's go ahead and see what's going on with tampon.
Yes. Who would have foresaw that the headline coming from Team Harris-Walz out of that debate would be the potential next vice president with the caption, I'm a knucklehead. I mean...
Yeah, that's Homer Simpson. Look, you know what? I'm a knucklehead. So y'all hear that? That man right there, he's been saying that every time they ask him about all of his lies. I'm a knucklehead. That, and I mean, look, my people know me. I mean, people know me. And I'm going, you're just saying that. You're just that. Your excuse is I'm a knucklehead, first of all. So therefore, excuse all my lies. Sometimes I get my dates mixed up. You don't get your dates mixed up. You lie. And then by you saying, people know me, and I'm thinking, who knows you? Because what I'm getting to know is that you're a liar and a manipulator and a real knucklehead. I know you're saying you're a knucklehead, but no, you're a real knucklehead. And we're about to find out why he says that.
Even Team Harris must have been cringing back at home. And that whole answer was so meandering and evidenced. A liar was speaking. He starts off with, by the way, I forgot to give my personalizing biography that would make you like me before I get to why I lied yet again, this time about China. I grew up in a small town where we rode our bikes until the streetlights came on. And I'm very proud of that. What do you mean you're proud of that? So did I. I grew up in upstate New York. We also rode our bikes around in the 70s till the streetlights came on.
There it is. That was one of the tactics that we just saw Obama use. We saw how they try to, say, well, look here. We're going to come up with our little backstory so you won't look at all of our corruption and our stupid policies and stuff. And we're going to say stuff like, you know what? We ate food growing up. Did y'all eat food? Yeah. Okay. We used to have to breathe air. And yep. So I was once little. Just like you. I was once little. And now I'm big. There you go. So y'all should vote for me. Relate to my backstory and stuff like that. Excuse all the lies and stuff, because remember, I rode bikes and stuff until the sunlight went down and the streetlights came on.
Doesn't make me a good person. How is that evidence that you're somebody we should elect as vice president? Well, my mom also loved to bake meatloaf, and we had corn on the cob. Doesn't make me qualified to run the country.
But he's a knucklehead.
Anyway, so then he meanders into how he worked on farms, and he's very proud of his service. Okay, nobody attacked your service, but they should have, because your stolen valor is fair game. And then he finally gets around to I'm a knucklehead. I'm a knucklehead. Why? Because you lied about being in Beijing, in China, in Hong Kong, on the day of Tiananmen Square.
Well, I don't know if they should be sending Tampon out there to appeal to us men. 1, Tampon's a liar. 2, Tampon's a coward. And 3, Tampon, for some reason, got some beliefs and stuff that just, I don't know, y'all, make me feel all funny on the inside when I think about it. I mean, what kind of man would want to start an after-school program for teenagers or students and with the LGBTQ? I mean, is that something that normal straight guys say, that's what I want to do? I mean, how do you even know about that community? You know what I'm saying? Well, I don't know anything about it. I never, dibbled and dabbled in any of that stuff, but I'm here to learn with you guys, kids. So let's go ahead and start that. How many of you want to become a part of that community? I'm not a part of it, but I just want to know how many of you all want to become a part. That concerns me. A man who thinks that it's okay to have tampons in the bathroom for little boys, that doesn't make me want to say I want to get on board with the Democrat Party because they got great ideas for men. Yeah, they're putting in place things in our society that will strengthen our young men. Make sure they're able to step out into life and deal with obstacles and be ready just in case the crap goes down. That's what Tim is about? No, he's not. So not only is he a liar, but he's an idiot. And he's a knucklehead. Watch this.
Now, if you were in China on the day of Tiananmen Square, it is like I said last night, it's like saying you were in Lower Manhattan on 9/11.
Yeah, he knew that. But according to him, I got my dates mixed up. I mean, you know what? I'm a knucklehead, so I talk just like you. Yeah, you all lie whenever you're just talking like normal, regular people, right? Isn't that a part of talking like just a regular person? You have to lie? That's not it? I'm the only one that does that?
If you were there or you weren't. And there's a big difference between being in Lower Manhattan on 9/11, September 11th, 2001, and being in Lower Manhattan, November 11th, 2001.
That's a
dramatic difference. And that's the essential difference in what he said. He didn't go there until 2 or 3 months later. But he is on the record not only saying he was there, but bragging about it, recounting in detail what it was like. He's a liar.
Man, I tell you, this guy right there sounds like one of my buddies growing up. He had it bad, y'all. And we just loved him for him. We all knew he was lying. It was just like, okay, we're just going to let him go and have his fun. Yeah, man, you know what, man? I told y'all one time, he said that they turned a Boeing 747 around because he happened to take his dad's walkie-talkie wristwatch with him, and his dad needed it. Yeah, he was supposed to go away for the summer and didn't go. And we're like, yo, man, weren't you supposed to leave for the summer? Oh, yeah, man, what happened? Well, all right, listen. All right, so I get on the plane, right? And it took off, man. And as soon as we hit the air, man, I was like, oh, snap. I got my dad's walkie-talkie wristwatch on. He needed, right? So, they turned it around, dropped me back off. I said, they turned a Boeing 747 around for your dad's watch? I mean, is that something that the airline is okay with doing? We got a kid up here. He has his dad's walkie-talkie wristwatch. We're going to be going ahead and circling around. This kid really needs to get it to his father. But we all just sat there and said, okay. Unnecessary lie. But in his head, it's like, look at me. I'm telling good stories. And that's what Tim Walz was doing. And I guess he never thought that maybe one day I might get picked for VP and have to explain all of my tall tales.
He's lied about so many things in an effort to make himself look good, better, or more important than he is. I mean, he wasn't a retired command sergeant major in the Air National Guard, even though he claimed that he was. He did not serve in Iraq or Afghanistan, as he claimed. He did not bring a weapon into war. He was not given a commendation by the Chamber of Commerce. He did not have IVF. He had intrauterine insemination. His wife did. He only claimed it was the more extreme, difficult method because he wanted to say he had standing to speak with intelligence on IVF. It was a lie. Around every corner, this guy lies to make himself look better. He said he was in Beijing. He wasn't in Beijing. All of it, Paul, is a pattern of somebody who's dishonest. And that's why when he was asked about the latest lie, he started to fall apart before our very eyes.
And we all saw it. We all saw it during that debate when Tampon's back was up against the wall and he thought he was just going to get away with telling us about his childhood. With all due respect, Governor, that's not what we asked you. The question was about your timeline in Beijing, and he went to pieces. How did it happen again, Megan?
You could see the panic level rise to the point where he started to just sputter out like an engine at the end. And so that's what I learned about governance, and I wish I had stopped speaking about 2 sentences ago.
That is exactly how it ended. My man right there was like, oh boy, okay, I'm just going to start saying unnecessary words. If I was actually sitting in an interrogation room, the lawyer right now would be telling me to shut up. Stop talking. I wasn't there. You wasn't there? I was not there, but kind of there. I think I wasn't. I was at the, yeah, you probably should stop talking. So guys, this is what I mean by tampon being a real life Homer Simpson.
President Franklin Roosevelt, as he saw Americans scared, struggling, wondering what was next, made those famous words that we all heard when we were in school and knew that that's what America was about. All we have to fear is fear itself. And we fucked up.
What?
Did he just say what Bonnie said? What? All we have to fear is fear itself. And we fucked up.
Do you see Homer? Do you see Homer head out there? Marge, I want to be the vice president. Homie, I don't think that's a good idea. I can do it. So they sent this dude out there to appeal to men. And he's out there dropping F-bombs and just threw a SP at the front of it, spucked up. You ever heard that one? You ever heard that one? You know what that man wanted to say, but it gets worse. Let's finish hearing Homer. Hopefully Marge will come out and get him off the stage.
And we fucked up. Income's up $9,000 on those jobs. Companies have announced.
He is a young version of Joe Biden that ain't suffering from mental decline. Companies have announced. Oh boy, I think we could have some fun with tampon. Oh, with more speeches like this, I can start building my vocabulary database for tampon. So let's finish hearing some more of his blunders already.
Over $10 billion, and Ronald Reagan stood up and said, Mr. Gorbachev, tear down that wall. That's what we do. And in the most consequential presidential election,
What? That's a new word? Is that a new word? Presidential
election of our lifetime.
Look that word up in a minute.
Prices in this county have increased.
That's a young Joe Biden if I ain't never seen one. And priest. You think he's catching those flub ups, those gaffes right there? No, tampon's in the zone right now, y'all. Oh, the vocabulary of tampon. Let's continue. So we got in priest.
50% since 2017. It was there when my dad died. It was there when my little brother's in elementary school, so my mom to provide those benefits. She uses her Social Security tech.
Y'all don't get one of those, a Social Security tech? Y'all don't get one of your parents and grandmothers don't have one of those? He is a disaster for the Democrats right now and for Kamala. But see, you got to figure, dumb is as dumb does. I wouldn't expect her to pick anybody smarter than her. She's dumb. I'm like, wow, she straight picked a dumber person than her. This guy can't be out there on the guy. You would think they would pick an eloquent dude, but he was Jewish and all, so that doesn't work for the radicals and stuff. So they had to pick Homer. They sent Homer out there and he's saying things like my grandmother's tech.
And that's where my wife is really happy. Some of you saw me face on this. I almost blurted out.
Some of you saw me face on. Some of you saw me face on. Wow, that right there. It was an excellent statement and phrase.
Some of you saw me face on this. I almost blurted out. No.
Some of you saw me face on. Yeah. That dude sounds like a knucklehead. Sound like a caveman. Some of you saw me face on. Me like things like that. Boy. Oh, March. Come here, boy.
You know, no kidding. So look, freedom to make your healthcare decisions.
Yeah, freedom to make your healthcare decisions. Whatever that is. Look at the question marks. Like we don't know. That's not a word. That is not a word. She-ons.
Freedom to make your healthcare decisions. But I do know this, as a football coach, you take the time.
You take the time. Anybody take the time? Oh, he's a joy.
Time to drop a book, you're going to run the play. But you have a right to fork on a market that.
What was it? We can't even translate that one. You have a right to truck on what? Homer? Oh, homie, that guy is horrible. So you can't send him out there trying to appeal to men unless you trying to appeal to dummies, all the dumb men. So they sent him out there, and I'm sure they regret every moment of it. Like, this dude was a mess. That's what happens when you jerry-rig a campaign together. When you put some slop and mess together that quick and start with the leader of the mess being one of the dumbest box of rocks in the dang on rock store. And then what happens? They pick a dumber box of rocks.
Works.
It did a piece looking at sort of the culture inside the Trump campaign, which translates to...
Oh, here we go. Since they're losing men, now what are they going to do? They got to come up with an excuse why all of those men voting for Trump are voting for Trump. Couldn't be because they're smart. Couldn't be because they are just saying we love our country. Nope. It's a culture. We're all influenced by Trump's masculinity. It's toxic, though. It's not just masculinity. So they have to redefine all this masculinity so that all of us folks out there that just thought I was just being a regular man, I didn't know I was toxic. So there's a new type of man now, a non-toxic. I thought, well, maybe I should find out what are the characteristics of a non-toxic masculine man. So here we are, guys. Now, this is directed at all of us men, shaming us for being men.
What they say and how they act publicly. And as you know, covering politics, the tone is often set from the top. And so that's with former President Trump. And what we found was sort of a striking and deliberate machismo and bro culture that, goes from the language the aides use to describe people. Our lead scene is they're talking about how to handle stories they don't like from reporters, and a top guy on the campaign says, well, we'll just beat them into retardation, which is just not language that is acceptable by just about anyone.
Look at her. Yeah, she doesn't have any problem with masculinity, men, toxic masculinity. Looking at her. All the guys right now, throw that fish back in the water. I'm good. Well, you don't like me in all of my very dark colors and my, very old school bob, my very homely look. You don't like that? It's because you're toxic. That's right. You can't appreciate a real feminine woman. I'm like, what? Okay, sure. So now here she is telling us about men. She's telling us, yeah, these guys over here, they're all like Trump, and they say bad things and they make jokes and stuff about beating people and to a retardation and stuff like that. What else about us? Go ahead, finish giving us a lecture about how horrible we are as men and then wanting us to vote for y'all.
And this is also how the statements they release, the names they call President Biden, Vice President Harris.
You mean like Hitler? White nationalists? Threat to democracy? Racist? White supremacists? Diablos? You mean like that? Words like that?
Who they choose to highlight. And obviously there are concerns from their own allies, from Nikki Haley, about how they...
She's an ally? Nikki Haley? I thought she was a plant. Yeah, I don't look at her as an ally, so you shouldn't be referencing her thinking you're going to change our minds by using her as an example? You kidding me?
They talk to women, how they talk about women, about the tone. But part of this...
How they talk about women. See, once again, using this kind of crap, thinking it's going to work. It's going to shame us into saying, well, I don't want to be toxic. I don't want to be over here talking about women. What are they saying? They're talking about specific women and characteristics that is unique to that woman. But of course, it can't be because that woman brought it on herself and should be able to take the criticism. No, that's not it. Yeah, any criticism or anytime they talk about a woman in a negative way on the Democrat side, it is solely because they're misogynistic. I thought they were being equal opportunists. I thought they were saying, look, I'm not even looking at your sex and all that stuff. I'm looking at your policies. I'm looking at your decisions. I'm looking at what you said. I thought that they would just, allow these strong, independent women to stand their own ground and defend all their choices. I thought that's what they were doing. But instead, These women now got to revert back to, well, I'm a woman. You can't say bad things about me, even if I brought it on myself. I can't take criticism. It busts me up on the inside. And it's all because of your toxic masculinity. So stop being masculine. Let's see if that appeals to all of us and makes us want to go now and vote for Kamala Harris.
Last thing I will say briefly is that Susie Wiles, the top woman on the campaign, has privately told confidants that the biggest challenge is at managing, quote unquote, too much testosterone. But this is also, in certain ways, a deliberate play for men. And I remember going to the convention, the RNC, and watching and saying, what are they going to do to bring women back into the...
So now you have to understand, she said it's a deliberate play for men. So Obama coming out trying to shame black men is not a deliberate play. You guys trying to send Tim Walz out there to pretend he's working on a truck and got a dog in there. That's not a deliberate play for men. And then they had the nerve to come up with something special as a last ditch effort to bring us back, y'all. And you'll see what it is in a few minutes. But it's not a play for men. Now, our candidate and our party don't have to make a play for men. We just are men. We have men in our party who act like men. We're not running around talking about putting tampons in bathrooms. We're not confused about what men and women are. We're not okay with kids and, different sports based on the fact that I think I'm this and I'm thinking I'm that. We're not always running around talking about the LGBT is the greatest, they're under threat and they're being these aren't things that we do. Yeah, we're not over dramatic. We're not coming in, or scratching ourselves, holding our jock and talking about, hey, toots, come here. These broads over here. Hey, look at these chicks over here. Let's go. We're not doing that. We're just behaving like men. And that's appealing. You don't got to go over the top. You ain't got to go out there talking about macho man. Hey, forget about it. No, just be men. And that right there is enough for men to say, I want to be with these guys. They're trying to dilute just the normal amount of masculinity. Just an average man. They don't even like that. You got to be less than average. Yeah, you got to be a lesser man. So let's go ahead and finish hearing them tell us about men and how we should come back to them.
10. How are they going to woo women? And I watched and I realized...
You know how you woo women? By being men. That's how you woo them. Any woman that ain't either a bougie, upper class, white liberal woman with a softcore husband already, nobody wants soy boys. Nobody is running around looking for softcore men, okay, unless you are a woman who hates men. There it is. Either you're a lesbian or perhaps you are a very liberal woman who got your man in check and always downplaying his toxic masculinity. Hun, don't you think you're being a little toxic? I'm sorry, dear. You want me to go ahead and stand over here? Yes, I do. In the corner. Go. Turn. Don't look at me. Okay. Nose in the corner. Yes, nose in the corner. All right. Come on, kids. Let's go. When I get back, you better still be in that corner. I'll be here, hun. I can only see men like that. I'm saying, you know what? Women like men. So that's how you attract women. Just being yourself.
They're not. That's not their main concern. They are doubling and tripling down on their reliable voters, which are younger male voters, and you see it in this culture.
You hear them excuses? Already got the excuses for this loss she's about to take. It's because of toxic masculinity. It's because of the white nationalist rural area and because of black men who done sold out. That's why. They're laying the groundwork for all of the reasons. And then I also heard there's a little bit of Russian collusion stirring around too. But let's finish with this whole we're losing men narrative.
This is actually for all men.
What?
I think men are in crisis, actually, in this country.
Says a woman? Says a woman? Did y'all know that? I'm sitting there like, we are? We in crisis? Huh. Well, tell us about this crisis.
I think that plays out different ways. And not all men are in crisis, of course. And not all men are just at home listening to Joe Rogan being angry or being...
Oh, God. I mean, they just sit around and make this stuff up as they go right on the show. They like, all right, look, we're losing men. We got to figure out a way to make an excuse of why we're losing men. So just come up with anything. Just say, you're up. Just make it up off the top of the head. I think men are in crisis. Not all men are doing man things. Like sitting around. You can't just watch Joe Rogan and just be like, wow, he's entertaining or he's funny or, Yeah, you got to be angry. Yeah, if you're sitting there watching, Joe Rogan, you're angry. You're not just a normal man. So now they're throwing all of these characteristics into men who don't vote for Democrats. You want me to be sitting around knitting? Do you want me to be sitting around going, when is the next time we're going out and protest for the injustice of the indigenous people of Afghanistan? But you want me to do that? You want me to be like, sweetie, should we go tie ourselves to the streets and talk about free Palestine or, climate change or something? Are we protesting this weekend, dear? I got a vagina hat if you want me to wear it. You want me to put mine on too? Are we pregnant, hon? I like being pregnant with you. That's what you want? She wouldn't want a man like that. But yet she's sitting here trying to make it appear that any man who is voting for Trump or just a regular man got to be mad and angry.
Recruited to fascism. Some just need therapy, like we all do. I go to therapy. That's
and
great.
You need more. You need to come to Kevin's Corner for your therapy. I'll go ahead and cure you in one day.
But I think we need to have a real conversation about that rather than allowing this kind of drift toward this faux masculinity that was.
These kids. We need to have a real conversation about that. But even though we don't have real men on the set, we got a bunch of sold out soy boys on the set. Then I'm assuming you don't want to have a real conversation with men about that. First of all, men don't talk about most of the time stuff. We deal with it. Okay? Blood pressure all the way up here. Stress. I twitching all the time. Hey, you think I'm like I'm busted up on the inside. I'm really going through some things. Unless you are really busted up, you deal with it. Nobody wants a man who's always talking about his feelings. Hey, you know what? And you hurt my feelings when you said that. And sometimes I don't feel appreciated because I do my best. And nobody wants that. You want to be able to say, this must be serious. If my boyfriend or husband say, man, I got to talk to you about something. Oh, shoot. What'd I do? No, nothing. It's just something you like, wow, this is refreshing. Okay. But if you hear that all the time, women, just tell me this. If you went to the movies and every time you went there, your boyfriend or husband was busted up crying, at some point you'd be like, would you shut up? One time it might be cute. Tear up, one tear. That's it. Man, that was a sad movie. Oh, girl, you know what? He cried during the movie. We cried together. Only one tear, though. One tear. But if the next time you go, he's over there. After a while, you starting to go, let me go ahead and move a seat down. I'm starting to look at you a little differently now. You shouldn't be crying at movies more than me. Yeah. At some point, you say, man up. Okay, deal with this mess. Press it down. Now, I'm not saying kill yourself and be all big. But at the same time, you don't want to always be like, and I'm sad, and I'm this and that. And this. After a while, you're going to do, you're a weak man. Okay? You're a weak man. How are you going to handle the pressure? How are you going to handle the pressure? You got to adapt and deal. But here she is talking about we need to have a conversation about this.
We see Donald Trump advancing.
And what I see is
on what's on the ballot.
Oh, God. We got a mini man. We got a mini man on the set to go ahead and validate all these women's opinions about men.
What is the definition of masculinity going forward? Is it toxic masculinity or is it a different kind of masculinity?
Right.
Is there such thing as toxic masculinity? You guys came up with this crap. Like all of the definitions that y'all come up with to manipulate the public so you can categorize folks who don't like y'all or vote for y'all. So it can't just be that men don't like your ideas and policies. So those men, let's just throw a negative label on them. Toxic men. Yeah, these folks are blinded by all of that masculinity, that toxic masculinity, that testosterone is too high. Now, I don't know a man in the world who want to exchange, unless they want to be a woman, their testosterone so they can be a little more softer and vote for the Democrat. Nope. Embrace it. They're saying it's toxic because men aren't voting for them. And they wonder why. After they done came up with this definition, they wonder why they're losing men. Nobody wants to be a part of a party where you got to be checking your masculinity all the time, watching your tone, there's making sure you don't interrupt a woman, because if you interrupt her or if you disagree with her, of course, I'm sorry, was that too much? Did I go too? Nobody wants that. Most women don't want it. But here's this guy.
This table is driven by women, and it's frightening. What also leads me to is a piece in the Times today on Elon Musk, speaking of bros. And you are electing Elon Musk if you are also electing Donald Trump. Donald Trump's campaign has raised $300 million. Elon Musk's campaign, his super PAC is going to raise $150 million. Donald Trump said $500 million. You're getting this guy.
Oh, yeah.
You're getting the richest guy in the world who controls a major social media platform. It's dangerous.
Yeah.
Trump and Elon Musk together, and they talk about, everybody should read this.
Oh my God, you hear them actresses? Oh my God. Oh, the thought of it. Oh. Yeah, they're all scared. And you're getting Trump, you're getting Elon, too much masculinity. Then you got the UFC, you got all the football stuff, you got all that. I mean, it's a Joe Rogan and his whole audience. Oh, there's too much men. They're losing them. So this guy's just throwing straight up red meat.
Piece of Times, it's Maggie, it's Jonathan Swan, a whole bunch of people wrote it. And it talks about meeting with these billionaires. It has this sinister undertone to it.
Oh, yeah.
So there is masculinity, and the definition of masculinity is on the ballot as far as
The definition of masculinity is on the ballot. No, it's not. No, it's not. If y'all put that on the ballot, you're going to lose. You know what? What it means to be a man is on the ballot. A real man finds abortion to be the number one topic. The real man, women's rights and stuff. A real man, LGBTQ plus community should be at the top of their priorities. A real man should be. Nobody, you're not getting real. If you put that out there, that will make even men in the middle or might be voting Democrat start to evaluate. Hey, wait a minute. Now, I ain't on all of that. And if they're questioning my manhood based on whether I support that mess or not, maybe this ain't the party for me. They will be better off just being quiet. But unfortunately, because they're losing men and they know this could cost them the election, they revert back to what they always do. Demonize. There you go. Yeah. If y'all don't like us, y'all the problem.
question about breaking through. I like what she did when she was talking about John McCain and giving his thumbs up, because she was very real. Like she's kind of let it rip a little bit.
Yeah,
That's
let it rip.
let it rip. Going back to the conversation.
Let Kamala be Kamala.
Yeah.
Let Kamala be Kamala.
Not inject testosterone necessarily, but inject some WTF kind of attitude, if you will.
What the heck? So guys, here we go. Their latest antics.
He's spreading it about you, saying that tabloid stories.
That's the new man. That's the new man they want us to be like. That's Kamala Harris's, the husband with the different last name and the stuff like that. He's the second gentleman, I think.
About your personal life, saying it should be front and center. He's saying it about your wife and making incredibly crude and lewd suggestions about her past life.
I'm getting cut off? What? Am I okay now? Nothing. I mean, is it running? Yeah. Am I good? Can y'all see me? It looks smooth over here. Okay. So now here's Beaker trying to help Doug out because of the controversy surrounding him lately. Okay.
I'm just curious. I know I seem like a very zen, mindful person, but I think I'd be pissed off. And I'm just wondering, how do you?
So wait. You hear Beaker? See, this shows that these folks are so fake. They always talk about toxic masculinity. They always talk about Donald Trump and his past and all this stuff. Now he's out here to clean up this guy's mess. So instead of saying, "Hey, Doug, did you smack that chick around? Did you spin her head around like a top?" Instead, you mad, Doug, that people are even dibbling and dabbling in your past. Doug, did you leave a bun in the teacher's oven and then stress her out to where she had a miscarriage? Did you think that was a part of your toxic masculinity phase? What about that, Doug? Nope. What he's doing is saying anybody bringing that up, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, Doug. You should be mad about it. Tell us about that. And look what Doug does.
How do you all stay centered? How do you stay disciplined and not really go off and not really push back hard at these things?
So wait a minute. You're not going to be like, so while your wife was at work, Doug, you were at home sleeping with the nanny and this and that, like they were trying to do with Trump. While your wife was pregnant, you were out there sleeping with Stormy Daniels and this and that. Now all of a sudden, this is private. All that stuff that took place in Doug's past is off limits. Off limits, man. We don't need to know about that, Doug. How do you deal with this? All these folks dibbling and dabbling in your personal business.
We don't have time to be pissed off. We don't have time to focus on it. It's all a distraction.
But did it happen?
It's designed to try to get us off our game.
But did it happen?
Now, all we are doing, all we talk about is this election. We understand the stakes. We understand the responsibility.
But did it happen?
We understand the account. What are the stakes? Our very country.
No. You're asking the wrong audio. Somebody said audio, Kev. Is the audio? Yeah, I don't want to be talking and let's see here. Let's see here.
We don't have time to be pissed off. We don't have time to
check one. Check one.
It's designed to try to get us off our game. Now, all we are doing,
that's me.
All we
that's
talk
me.
About is this election. We understand the stakes. We understand the responsibility.
So apparently the audio's fine. In and out. Somebody said all good now. It could be the feed. So I'm not sure. Somebody said all good. If it starts cutting out again, please let me know. Then this way I can go ahead and, do things like just jiggle it and things, because that's what you do when stuff is happening with technology. You unplug it, plug it back in, jiggle it a little bit, stuff like that. All right. So y'all hear Doug deflecting, and y'all hear Beaker, who is not there to ask Doug whether it happened or not, but instead to go ahead and say, Doug, what are the real priorities? Instead of talking about this stuff, let's go ahead and let you go ahead and say, now, I don't want nobody asking me no more about this because we're focused on this. So let's continue.
Our future. What kind of future are we?
What kind of future? Wait a minute. What's this? Hey, dude out there. Doug Emhoff. Kamala is more than a perfect husband. More than a perfect husband. What? Even when he's a bad husband, Doug Emhoff is good. Oh, look at that. Modern day sex symbol. Don't he just remind all of the men, forget Burt Reynolds. Forget that. With the taco meat on his chest back in the day. They had, forget those dudes. Forget Clint to the Eastwood. Go ahead. Make my day, punk. Well, do you feel lucky? Forget that. Forget Arnold Schwarzenegger in his prime. I'm ballsy. Yeah. Get to the chopper now. Forget that. Forget the sly. That's right. You know what I'm saying? The kid come up to me at a box. He said, Sean, and then it exploded and blew everybody. I just can't get that out of my head. Forget those guys. Doug Emhoff is the new sex symbol. Audio again? What the? That's driving me nuts now. Because, see, I don't want y'all to miss any of this right here. Okay, hear me out. Second gentleman is the first class.
The interesting part of how people have talked about your role here is how your role has reshaped the perception of masculinity. And I'm not sure you planned on that.
Look at that. They didn't plan on it. It just fell into Doug's lap. Doug being Doug, man. So Doug Emhoff is a modern woman's dream man. He is. So they want all of us men to look at him as an example of reshaping masculinity. That's what they want. Yeah, they think that somebody said, I forgot to mention Snake Plissken. Love him. So, yep. Oh, Snake Plissken. You know what old Jack Burton says at a time like this? Who? Jack Burton. Snake Plissken, baby. Yeah. Escape from New York. I am the Duke of New York. Love that movie. So now let's go ahead and see this sex symbol and why we all should pattern ourselves. Uh-oh. Not the kazoo. Oh, whenever the kazoo comes out. So Kamala Harris' husband, Doug Emhoff, forcefully slapped an ex-girlfriend for flirting with another man in booze feud assault after date. That's not a good look. That sounds like toxic masculinity. I'm very masculine. I've never smacked a woman and spun her head around. I thought when, you're just trying to be a regular man and you're not a Democrat man like Doug Emhoff, you just have to do things like that. You grab women by the hair and you just drag them into the cave, stuff like that. You shut up, woman. Always talking to him like you Mr. T. Would you say one? Get over here now, fool. Yeah. But I've never done that. Doug Emhoff slapped a woman? That guy? And Beaker didn't even ask him. Oh! Oh! Oh, Dougie. Oh, Dougie. So, guys, they're not doing a good job with appealing to us. Have you guys, if the guys are watching my show right now, has the needle moved? Has any of you guys started to say, you know what? I'm starting to see the light. I'm starting to see the error of my ways as a man who has normal masculinity. I think it's too much. I need to be a lesser man. Therefore, I'll become a Democrat man. And just to make sure that all of us men know that real men are Democrat men, you could be a real man and support Kamala Harris. They came out with this ad, y'all, and we're going to end with this. This ad, if this doesn't do it, guys, nothing will. Nothing will. This is going to make us all run down to the polls and vote for Chameleon after watching this one. Here we go.
I'm a man.
I'm a man.
I'm a man, man. And I'm man enough. I'm man enough to enjoy a barrel-proof bourbon.
Neat.
Man enough to cook my steak rare.
Man enough to deadlift 500, then braid the out of my daughter's hair.
You think?
What the crap am I watching? This is how cheesy the Democrat, this is how desperate they are. Beep. I'm a man. I'm a man. I'm a man. I'm man enough. First of all, no man wants to be like this. Okay? No man wants to be built like Grimace. No man wants that. Unfortunately, some men end up looking like that, but they don't want to. They don't want to. They'd rather look chiseled. I guarantee that. So they picked this big, soft-bodied dude right there. I'm a man. And then they picked the over-masculine black dude. I'm a man. Yeah. So, yeah, you can braid your girl's hair. Okay, I'm not saying, as a father, if mom is at work, gone, you put the one braid in or you pull it all up into a ponytail and throw a beret on it. But you're not sitting there putting cornrows in your daughter's hair. That's why usually when men does their daughter's hair, the wife always corrects it later. You tried, honey. You tried. Just the two little pigtails. You tried. Let's go ahead and let's go ahead and help you out there. Daddy tried. But let's finish hearing from these men. Oh man, they're real men.
Think I'm afraid to rebuild a carburetor? I eat carburetors for breakfast.
I ain't afraid of bears. That's what bear hugs are for.
I'll tell you another thing I sure as shit am not.
That guy. Oh boy. What, they think this mess is working? Are you kidding me? This is so obvious as, hey, we're going to go ahead and throw out what we think are stereotypical masculine men and make them go over the top trying to prove that they're men. And then hopefully that'll make you all realize that if you're a man that refuses to vote for us, you cannot vote for us based on these actors. that are pretending to be overly masculine men and then talking about, but I'm not too manly enough to what?
Not afraid of women. I'm not afraid of women.
Now see, it's scripts like this. It's the way they think. They think that these are the reasons why men are not supporting Kamala Harris. Do you really think that you're going to open a man who is saying, I wasn't going to vote for Harris because I am afraid of women? And now that these fake actors just said they're not afraid of women, that makes me feel like now I cannot be afraid of women. I never saw it before. Whole time I would see women and be like, ah, a woman. They're dangerous, you know. Better stay away from them. Never put them in a position of leadership or any of that stuff. They'll ruin it all. But now that these actor men came out and said they're not afraid of women, then I can let all that go. There it is. Open my mind up. I'm now going out and vote. This right here is a parody in a sense. This is so belittling because they are trying, this in their mind, they think that's the problem. It goes to show the way they view society, and they wonder why they can't appeal to men. They really think that men are saying, I'm afraid of women. Do you understand? I watched Carrie Lake the other day destroy some CBS, I guess, maybe reporter. She handled that woman, seriously handled it. And after watching, I'm going, man, I would vote the heck out of Carrie Lake. I would step over. If I lived in Arizona, I would walk over all kind of cold to vote for her. That right there, I would support her all day long. I'm not afraid of her. But this is what they want men to think, and that's supposed to change our minds. So what else are we supposed to do as real men?
I'm not afraid of women. They want to control their bodies.
Do you see them pick Boxcar Willie? You see them go and get Willie Nelson right there? They want to control their bodies. Nobody wants to look like a homeless man. But he's supposed, that's their ideal of what man looks like right there.
I say go for it.
They want to use IVF to start a family?
And that guy looking like Opie Cunningham? That guy looking like Richie Cunningham? No chest having? Boy, I tell you. But now let's go ahead and see their over-the-top man who they picture.
I'm not afraid of families.
They want to be childless cat ladies? Have all the cats you want.
Woman wants to be president?
Well, I hope she has the guts to...
Look at that guy. Well, I hope so. Look at him posing. You see him sitting up there looking like he's about to take an Ola Mills picture? There you go. Hands right there on the hip. Well, I hope that, yeah, all right, wait. Now, can you kind of move it? Lift your chin up. Like when you're taking an Ola Mills picture, you're wondering how it's going to look. There, turn your head this way. You're like, is that going to look straight? No, a little more this way. And then somehow the picture comes out and it looks like this. You're like, man, you almost broke my neck, but somehow I looked at the picture and it was straight. So now this guy who's taking the Ola Mills picture is telling us something about this as he's sitting on the back of something, because you know they got to take these people out in environments that they think men are in. Like you see the little windmill in the back, the little mill right there. Yeah.
To look me right in the eye and accept my full-throated endorsement.
Because I'm man enough to support women.
Man enough to know what kind of donuts I like.
What the heck does that even have to do with anything? Over dramatic muscle man? Man enough to know what type of donuts I like. Whoa! Well, I didn't know what I was missing. There you go. Now, I'm okay with knowing what type of donuts I like too. Therefore, I'm going to vote for Kamala Harris. There you go. Thanks for clearing that up, muscle man. You hearing this commercial appeal to us, y'all. Now, you know you're desperate. When you come out with a commercial like this,
Refuse to ask for directions. Man enough to not ban young women from little women.
Or are you man enough to be able to do a sit-up? That's what I want to know. Are you man enough to be able to go ahead and do one push-up? That guy right there, looking like you telling me he's working on somebody's farm?
Man enough to not ban young women from reading Little Women. Or
what the heck does man enough to not ban grown women from reading Little Women? What? I don't know what that means. I don't even know what this means. See, now they're trying to insert all of their Democrat ideology into this little piece right here to make it seem like it's okay to accept craziness as a man. as a regular man, I want y'all to realize our crazy radical ideology and policies are normal. Look at these men. I mean, look at them. They're great examples of it.
Or one of those pants books that the sisters like.
I'm man enough to raw dog a flight. It sucked. Not worth it. I'm man enough to be emotional in front of my wife.
Then you're softcore. I'm man enough to be emotional in front of my wife. And now we're back to Boxcar Willie. Willie Nelson, what you got to say?
In front of my kids.
In front of my horse.
I'm man enough to tell you that I cry at Love Actually.
Goodwill.
Is it working, guys? Are y'all starting to feel your testosterone levels drop? Is that what it is? Right now, it's like, oh, they're busting me up. They're making me get more in touch with my more sensitive side as I watch this. I'm starting to feel Kamala Harris in my future.
Hunting.
West Side Story. That and Predator.
And I'm sick of so-called men domineering, belittling, and controlling women. Just
Then you go ahead and insult men. I'm sick of so-called men dominate, belittling, and controlling women. We're all doing that. That's what it is. All of the millions of men voting for Trump, we're all out there dominating, controlling, and belittling women. That's why we're voting for Trump. Somebody said, is this a parody? No, it's actually supposed to be a real ad. This is a real ad to appeal to men for the Democrats.
so they can feel more powerful.
That's not how my mama raised me. I love women.
I love women who support their families.
And we don't. Yeah, all of us regular men aren't voting for Kamala Harris. We hate women. Get on out here, woman. You're only used for reproduction, okay? Other than that, I don't want to see you around here. Now get back in the kitchen, get those shoes off, and I'm going to put a bun in your oven. You're barefoot and pregnant. That's where you need to be. Only Kamala men love women. The rest of us, we don't.
Women who decide not to have families.
Women who take charge.
And I'm man enough to help them win.
There it is. Man up. Get involved. And vote for Kamala and Tampon Tip. So what do y'all think? Are we all convinced? Are we all now as men and even women? Because I'm going to let you know, if you women out there have a husband or a man that watch that and decides that, yeah, I'm convinced I'm going to vote for Kamala. Break up right now. Let him know we ain't going to make it. I mean, you just lost all kind of points in my eyes. Oh, you mean to tell me you fell for that manipulation? And that goes across the board. If you're a black man and you listen to Obama and you say, man, I'm going to go ahead and roll with Obama because of what he said, you're a soft man. You're not a real man. You're not able to stand on your real convictions and your own intellect if you could be manipulated by these Democrat tactics, shaming men, talking about the only reason we support Trump is because we're this, we're that. Can't just be. We just love the country and we like his policies. Can't be that. This is the tactics that they use. And it shows that they're very desperate and they can't win by their policies, so they got to manipulate folks. And then make excuses of why folks don't vote for him. And you don't like me, but you don't like me because you're ugly. There you go. I mean, I know I tried to holler at you and, gave you a lame pitch line. And because you rejected it, and you know what? It's on you. And your loss. The reason you reject it is because you're ugly. Now, are you ready to go ahead and date me? No. That didn't work? No. It didn't. It turned me off. Oh, that wasn't a good tactic. That's what they just did. That's what they just did throughout this whole segment. So God bless y'all. God bless America. I still ain't able to get to what I was doing last night. I thought I'd be able to get through it quicker, but I got caught up on it. It's so much fun watching these fools try to make excuses of why men are leaving them. So I said, yeah, well, I'm going to go ahead and enjoy this. I don't want to rush it, have some fun with it. And we'll pick up on the rest of that, maybe even this weekend. Who knows? I think I got some time, and I'll slide it in. So keep your notifications buttons on just in case I surprise y'all. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and go to the end of this. Yeah, word, right? That's where I want to be, I think. Now, thanks for hanging out with me tonight. Hit the like button, share my videos, follow me on all. Subscribe to my alternative channel. What else I think I need to know? Don't forget, check out Kevin's Corner store. Did I miss anything? If you want to donate to the channel, you can through my Cash App and my PayPal. Other than that, I will be back sometime this weekend. And God bless y'all. Be safe over the weekend. What the heck? Maybe I put the beginning music at the end. This is awesome. I know you see the way we tear up the place, yeah. Now look at all that testosterone up there, beating my chest and all of that. Ooh. I suffer from toxic masculinity, and I like it. God bless. Take care.